everybody, and welcome once again to the Meat Grinder Coach's Corner edition. This Wednesday, we're on to week 10 here in the high school football season, and joining us this week is, of course, the great Sal Morello of the Cromwell-Portland Panthers. It's his second stint. He's the founder of the program, and his guys are playing great right now. Only one loss in 8 games, and they're playing a big one this week against unbeaten Rockville in the Pequot. Coach, thanks for joining us. We'd love to have you here. And how you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Just got off the practice field. The biggest thing that stuck out today is the weather. It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, well, we playing
too beautiful. It's too beautiful.
Yeah.
I told Pete last week I didn't want to jinx it. We had a little last night. Remember last year, it was raining constantly. We were like in a swamp every weekend. Now this week we can't get a drop, which is fine by me. I mean, not for the for the people who have to deal with all the fire warnings in the state, but if we can get through this season, but it's been crazy. I know we're wearing our shorts to a lot of these games. I mean, how do you? I guess it's nice, right?
Oh, it's beautiful. As older I'm getting, I don't like the cold and the wind. So right now I'm still bundling up, but the weather's beautiful. So great day to work. Tell the guys there's no excuses.
Yeah. You can't get no cold. You got to deal with all the cold stuff. You got to deal with keeping everyone warm. You got trainers out there with frostbite. None of that. We don't have to worry about that now. Knock on wood. At least for a few weeks, at least.
Guys, we're all jinxing it now. We're going to get to December 14th, and it's going to be snowing, okay? We are teetering on this line here, guys.
Coach, listen, you guys have been doing a great job. I mean, listen, as we all know, you were the founder of the program. You won a state championship there, that great one against Ansonia in 2008. And then you moved on to go to Middletown, and you had some great success there, a bunch of playoff teams. And then all of a sudden, Randell steps down. It looks like you got a job over at Cromwell High School. And I mean, I guess you decided, hey, I'm going to come back, huh?
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where I just needed to maybe just step away since 2001, just going at it like full time, weight room, 7-on-7, it just never ended. Went to Middletown, same thing. And, I got a young family and, I think I just needed to step away a little bit, took a step back and figure out how I'm going to handle everything at home because that's most important. Yeah. And, I think I recharged the battery a little bit. And I tell you, that year off really did a lot for me mentally. And as far as football, I mean, I was able to step away, miss it a little bit, but I always stayed, in touch with the game and stuff like that. And then, I went back last year at Middletown to help out as an assistant. So got a different perspective there too, as well, under Josh Rozak, who was a tremendous coach, and learned a lot from him. But it was good to just step back a little bit, see the game through a different lens now. And, I didn't have, the head coaching stuff, all the outside stuff, the parents and just all the stuff. And I was just able to focus on football and the kids.
Yeah, the us stuff too, right? Dealing with the media, that gosh darn media. But Coach, I gotta say, you're back at Cromwell, and we do want to talk about this year's team, so I don't want to jump too far ahead. But I gotta be remiss to ask, what's the biggest difference from when you started this program back in 2001 to now you're inherited a program that was in the state finals last year?
Yeah, Coach Bennett did a terrific job, and a lot of coaches when they leave, the talent's empty, or you're in a rebuilding period. But he left a good football team behind, so I give him a lot of credit for that. But I think the big difference for me when you asked me that question, first thing that stuck out the first time around was a little easy. I wouldn't say easier, but it was. They only knew my way. This is all they knew coming in. They never played high school football. They never played for another high school coach. So how I did things that's all they knew. So stepping in this second time around has been a little different. I think at the beginning, a little just hesitant. We're changing this, we're changing the terminology. So it's been harder to sell, I guess, is the right word. They're kids, but I think my staff, we've worked real hard, and you can see the buy-in. It just didn't happen as soon as I would hope it would happen. First time around, like I said, this is all they knew. This is how we do things. So, but it's been a challenge, and it's been a great group. They've been awesome. They really have, and you can see the buy-in right now.
What was the hardest part about getting them to kind of switch over, like getting them to like realize it was for everyone's benefit? I mean, how did you do that? How did you bring them along? Because obviously what worked before was great, but you're your own coach and you run your own show. So was it just kind of like telling them that, or how did you do that?
Absolutely, and I knew I had to, walk that fine line. They did have success, they get to a state championship. They played well, and just, so that I walked that fine line of saying, okay, I'm going to give a little bit because I understand this worked for us. Because at the end of the day, I want the kids to be successful, but I also know what it takes to be successful doing this for X amount of years, being in the game since, high school game since 14 years old. I sort of know what works and what may not work. So, I just, I would tell the coaches, we're just going to oppose our will on these kids and, try to find that happy medium where I got them comfortable, but the young kids and even us older guys don't like to be out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So just, they had to learn new terminology, and we're going to block, power this way. Well, we did it this way last year. No, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 ways to do things. It's just how you go about it, how you practice, how you rep it out. But I can see the buy-in right now.
Yeah.
I see the kids are like, okay, it's working.
So, obviously you were at Cromwell and you had a lot of success there. You could go over to Middletown, and the Cromwell is coached, by, and you took over for Randall Bennett, who was your player, who was on those teams. We have this great photo of Randall. Every time they got to a state final, I threw it up on Twitter, him and Cromwell, and he's got the old school, large, kind of face mask and stuff. But, you're at Middletown, you're still involved in high school football, and you're watching Cromwell and you're watching them. They had some great players who have gone through there, Carstetter, Teddy Williams, Owen Bronk, they won the state title a couple of years ago. How nice was that kind of watching, obviously Cromwell, and now it's Cromwell-Portland, but that's your baby. And you got one of your guys who helped grow this program, taking it to a level where they went to a state final and then they went to a state final. They won a state final and then they went back to a state final last year. It had to be kind of like a proud moment for you.
Absolutely. I always say Randall's one of my guys. He was there the first couple of years of JV when we started this program, and and then that first varsity year, he was a senior. Like I always say, I was blessed because first year of varsity football, and I have a 6'5", 275-pound lineman, who could play at the next level and who did play at the next level. But just watching what he did, I definitely was proud. Busy doing my thing in Middletown, but also looking and seeing what he was doing. And, it made me proud. He did a heck of a job.
I bumped into him a few weeks ago. Actually, a few weeks now, a few months ago now. But looks like he's doing well. He's got the second child, and he was coaching down at Poly Prep, making that commute down to I think it was Brooklyn or the Bronx. It was Brooklyn, right? Somewhere around there. But Brooklyn, looks like he's doing well. He's but he couldn't. You guys just can't give up the coaching bug. Which bites you, man. He's it's hard to stay away, isn't it?
It is. It was nice to see him the other night right behind our bench. Thinking about it now, the game was. I should have brought him onto the sidelines. He's an original Cromwell Panther. He's put a lot of years into this program as a player and a coach. So, he's doing his thing, and this is when you start going, oh boy, I'm getting older. I'm not the young coach anymore. Yeah. I got players with kids and families now. Yeah. I'm not the new young coach anymore.
That's right.
But it's nice to say.
So tell us something. Tell us a little about that guy. Well, first of all, did Randall say, all right, here's what I got, coach, since he was your guy. Here's what I got. Here's what these players. Did he give you any insight to the team you were going to get?
Yeah, we talked. When I got the job, we talked a little bit. I watched a lot of film on these guys and see what they can do well and what they did well. We changed defenses, and that was a hard sell at first because they were like, hey, we went to a state championship running this. But I said, well, we're going to do this now. But, those are the things that happen with change, and the kids, to their credit, have embraced it. But he was real helpful, if I had a question about a certain individual, like what makes this kid tick or something like that, he was really good.
Well, why don't you tell us about some of these guys? I mean, a lot of them with a lot of names who are back from last year's team that, even Randall said they probably overachieved a little bit to get to that last final against Bloomfield. But, tell us about some of the guys and how they've been playing well. There's a lot of familiar names, a lot of younger brothers, things like that in a small town like Cromwell and Portland.
Yeah, it's been good. There's a lot of, the senior class is a good senior class. A lot of those kids I saw the first time I saw Cromwell last year was at the state game. I hadn't been in a game in about 10 a while. I tell you, it was a while, maybe more than 10 years. I went to that state game and, I can hear people talking like they felt like, yeah, this came out of nowhere and they were a year away. They got to that state game, so I feel a little pressure there. There is a good football team left behind, but at the same time, we're, trying to patch up the offensive line. And then with the football season in any coach, so I'm not, every coach is probably going through it. We'll talk about the injury bug, so it's been hard to get some continuity going. Quarterback got hurt. Jess got hurt, but I can't say enough about Mike Sotaro. What a great job he's done. And, so, that's what you got, a little depth, and it's that next guy up mentality, and these kids are competitive. So,
So tell us about Sotaro coming in. He's a junior, right? He's
Mike's
behind
a junior.
Jess, started last year, and Jess played well at the start of the season, and then he went down. And what did you know about what Sotaro could do? I mean, sure, you saw him in camps and stuff like that in the preseason, but how did he? How was that first game for him? Which game was that, by the way? Anyway,
I want to say it was the Morgan game.
Okay,
it was a Morgan game because Jess got hurt at the end of Capital Prep.
Right.
But we saw him in preseason, and my first thoughts when I first met Mike and saw Mike, I said, wow, the kid can throw the football. I mean, he's a big kid, but he really can throw the football, and so I'm like, at some point we're going to use this kid. This is high school football. He's 6'2". He's 215 pounds, 220. He was even bigger, but he likes to brag to me how he's lost weight. So, but I mean, he's a good sized kid. And, I'm like, somehow, some way I need to find. So what happened at the end of camp, him and Jess really shared the reps because I really wanted to give Michael a shot. And I just, God forbid something happens to Jess. I can't just throw Mike in there and expect something out of him when me as a coach didn't give the kid an opportunity in practice. But when it was clear that, we were going to go with Jess, I just would talk to the staff and say, I can't have Mike. I can't have that body. He's a good player. I can't have him just sitting there. He started the season as our defensive end and was playing at a high level. Really? And then once Jess got hurt, he got yanked out of their defensive line. Coach was not happy with me. Speaking of, that's Jack Carlson, another Cromwell grad that is doing one heck of a job here. And but so that's it with Mike, and he's still going to play some quarterback there. He's done a heck of a job, And
Is
Jess,
back?
I can't say enough about Jess.
Is Jess back?
He's such a leader.
Jess is back, Coach.
He's back. He came back last Friday night, senior night. He was out for 5 weeks. So sort of like had the training wheels on a little bit and little by little, and then we'll start taking them off, So, but like he's such a smart kid. He's a bright kid, terrific athlete. But even though he was out, he's just such a focused kid. He was in tune with everything, getting mental reps, watching. So it seems like the last 2 weeks in practice, a week and a half of practice, he hasn't missed a beat. He actually looks better. He actually looks fresher, to be honest with you. He looks like he's fresh,
He throws a good ball. But I mean, just quickly back to Sotaro, man. That performance in the rally past Adam Killingworth that really kind of put you in this nice position going in the last few games. That strike he threw to Nolan at the end there, man. That was a nice ball, nice pump fake to the left side and right down the middle. And it was quite a, that's a tough spot to come in. You got to win a game, and until you've done it, man, who knows what you're gonna get, right?
It's funny you brought that play up because people say, oh, what a good throw by that kid. But I've seen it in practice. I wasn't as surprised as so many people. The kid's got a strong arm, but the thing about it is he put such a touch on the ball, just allowed Jack to get under that thing. And as that ball's in the air, I can see Jack's wide open. Please catch the ball. Just please catch it. But I've seen Mike do that in practice, so I wasn't as So how many, I wouldn't call him our number 2 quarterback, but I would say how many teams could have that kind of kid, waiting in the wings, and then when his number's called, be ready like that. So I give Mike a lot of credit for staying ready.
You don't have Mike back at end, do you?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
Nope. No. He's valuable to our offense. So we'll have him ready just in case.
I'll tell you, you don't need him there because you got a good defense. That play that what was it? The quick put on the HK quarterback. That hit he put on was just monstrous.
See, where my angle wasn't the best, but when I watched it on film, the most impressive thing about Logan, how quick he closed on him. For a big kid, Logan's about 250, 240, 250, and he closed quick and made a great play.
It's funny because he was trailing him. The quarterback made a move, he was kind of a roll out, but then he stopped. And then Quick was just like, oh, all right, bang.
Once he stopped, he did a nice job with the strip too as well. And Jaden Augustine, who's a sophomore.
Yeah.
If you watch the Valley game, the kid did not play like a sophomore, play like a senior. He's going to be a good one there too. He's, we were moving the football that night. We're having trouble finishing it. When that ball was on the ground, I was like, please scoop and score this. Because if he fell on it, I'm like, no guarantee we were going to score from the 5. We got stopped twice. So he did a great job of just reading the play, had room and he had time. And he just scooped it in, that was the game right there.
Pete, the guy,
one of the guys that we haven't really talked about is Matt Gish.
Yeah, I was just.
Matt Gish is a dude that we just see bonkers numbers from every week, and obviously it takes a village, but Matt is a guy that has really looks like he's had a really good year for you guys.
Having a great year, and I was just telling somebody today, he's just like a throwback. I mean, he's just he is tough as nails, never complains. As a football coach, he's a captain. He's just one of those kids. He definitely leads by example. But I wish he would snap because I think he would get the whole team's attention. But he goes about his work, and he's been awesome. He really has been awesome. And, coming in and you talk about getting to know these kids, they're telling me about Matt. I knew a little bit about Matt, and they said the kid can do everything. So I had him playing in the slot, as an H-back type guy too. Just, he's a smart kid. But then when I saw him touch the football, I go, I'm a fool if this kid's not touching the ball a lot, So, he's just tough as nails. There's no way to, he's a hell of a wrestler. So I'm looking forward to watch him wrestle this winter. But right now I'm enjoying coaching the kid. He's so coachable.
Some of those runs he made, man, against HK again, he was just, he's just one of those kids who just you got to really bring him down. He doesn't go down very easily.
He's one of those kids that says, that I always say that make a coach look smart. Like the play's not there. You're like, oh, it's not there. And then all of a sudden he bounces it out for a 60-yard run.
He was mad too because he plays defense. He was mad too because HK was running away from him the whole game.
Yeah, he's one of those kids. He really is. He's special. Now that I coach at Middletown, coach at an L program and an S pro, it don't matter. The kid can play at any. Yeah. He'll play anywhere, and I mean that.
I mean, you're talking about watching him wrestle. I mean, Coach, we still got a way to go, man.
No, we got time, right?
We got time. Look, the season ends on December 14th. Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Putting it out there, but you guys got Rockville coming up, and they've really been at the top. I mean, as with Cromwell-Portland. So now you got two of the better teams in the Pequot for the last, since 2018 that are going at it in this game. I mean, what do you know about Rockville? What have you seen from Rockville, and kind of what do you expect to see on Friday?
The biggest thing that sticks out to me on film is that they're well coached. They're put in the right spots. The kids make plays. They run to the football on defense. And their offense is balanced. I mean, they want to run it, but they'll throw it, and they throw it effective. They're a well-coached football team. You can see that right away. I think the biggest challenge to our kids is we got to match their physicality. After week 3, I was not happy after Capital Prep. I just didn't think we were physical. And, little by little, we're getting there. And, if we got to come to play, because if we sit back, I mean, they're going to, their offensive line, they got some players there, and they get on you. And, and they got some skill kids. That's a well-coached football team. He's done a great job over there. You can see it. But, we're looking forward to a challenge. I mean, hey, I don't know how many times you get to go play an 8-0 team. It's a big challenge. We'll see where we're at.
Well, it's a big one too. I mean, you got. It's like, what would happen here? Well, you're getting close to. I mean, everything goes well. I mean, you get a nice seed there. I know Ansonia and Capital Prep got you a little bit, but who knows with those two? I mean, Cap's got Ellington, Ansonia's got Nagy left down the stretch. I mean, who knows? So this is and they got a ton of points for you too here.
Yeah.
You want to kind of avoid some. You don't want to play HK again, do you?
No. HK Valley. No. You don't want to see that again.
There are no easy ones here. East is there. You have Bloomfield in the middle of the pack here.
Yeah.
It's a tough division, coach. We were talking about it after the HK game.
Yeah, Bloomfield, no matter how they finish, I know they got a really good Windsor team, but look at Bloomfield's schedule. Yeah. That's a tough schedule. Yeah, they've been able to navigate, So yeah, Class S is tough, But the old cliche, right? One at a time. And Rockville's got my attention for sure. And I'm like, boy, this is a good football team here.
I want to quickly hit on. I forgot one guy. I forgot was your other receiver, Vaughn Payne. Victor is Victor's brother? Is that right?
That's his brother. Yeah,
but he's only a football guy. Is that right?
No, he plays basketball.
He does play basketball. All right. Someone told me they only played, or was it Morelli getting it wrong or something like that? I don't know.
No.
It's okay. He's a big talk. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, and all I hear is from John Pannone, our basketball coach, don't get him hurt. That's all I hear.
Dude, I would not mess with John. I would not. John is just such an imposing presence whenever I see him. I would, hey, you know what, Vaughn? You just sit out this play. It's okay.
Yeah. He likes it that I keep him outside.
The coach. I mean, not what you don't want to give it away too much here, but I mean, how do you feel? You feel like you could stack up with a lot of these teams, don't you?
Yeah, we feel we could stack up. It's just a question of, we're going to make enough plays like we did at Valley, like we did at HK. We made enough plays. But for me, you just look, I think, when you get to playoff football, the weather comes into play a little bit and the physicality, So I've always been not one who would just like to, throw it all the time. We got to run it. We got to defend the run. I really believe in that philosophy. If you can run the football effectively, and you can play great defense, you got a chance against anyone. You got a chance,
Speaking of schedules, Pequot's been just amazing this year. I mean, up and down especially your side of the ledger of this caucus division. You do mention some of these guys. Would you like maybe have an extra game, maybe outside, to go outside and find your own, find another team maybe you match up with in S or something like that? Or are you content just playing within the league during the season?
But that's a great point. I thought that was great at Middletown when we had that the SEC and the CCC. Yeah. I think that's really good. I like that. I wouldn't mind to see that. I think we talked that night at HK. I thought the Pequot is a lot more competitive and more balanced than when I left it the first time. Oh my God. HK and Valley, those were playoff games. I mean, they're good football teams. And those were two good football games. And, if it's like that every week, that's great. But, I think you like to go outside. And like we're talking about, if we make the playoffs, if we're fortunate enough, you play who you got to play, no doubt. But I'd rather just play for the pure excitement, somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that brings a whole new element.
I know they wanted to get you in there. I personally don't care. Everyone's, aren't they all playing the Alliance stuff? I mean, if you do, you do. I mean, there's something to be said about having a crossover game. I do like the idea of leagues, which we've completely abandoned here across the rest of the state. I love the Pequot. You still have that. You got to play a round robin in your league schedule. I absolutely adore it. I think it's still great you guys do that. I don't know what happened to the rest of them, but I mean, the CCC kind of does that still, but it's more power ranking. I don't know.
It's so big. The CCC is so big.
It's so bad.
So big.
Is that a big? What was the big difference coming? I mean, it's like night and day, isn't it?
Well, you talking from a scheduling point of view, or are you just talking from a football point of view?
I don't know. That's a good question you asked me. I don't really know. I mean, obviously,
there's a difference. There's a difference. I think the biggest jump, or just not jump, but the biggest, take a step back, is the depth.
Yeah.
The depth. You just don't have, we're fortunate. We got good numbers this year, but I also know I'm looking around up there at the pitchers in this office. There's some years where it looks like it's a full team, 50, and then there's some teams that look like they're 30.
Yeah.
And then you throw injuries in the middle of it all. And, You know,
What do
you get
you think about the addition of of Portland? I mean, you didn't have Portland on your side. Was there talk back then of adding them? Maybe this is like a relatively new thing with the Pequot. I mean, relatively. And I know the Uncas team did a lot of co-oping early on before they joined up, but
I was against it the first time
were.
around. To be honest with you, I was against it. I didn't like the idea of two schools and you're in one building and then you have no idea what's going on in the other building. You know, getting the kids together, weight room, you know, getting them all on the same schedule. I didn't love the idea, you know, but it's worked out good. I this time around, I only inherited one senior from Portland, and now I have 12 freshmen from Portland. I got more Portland freshmen than I do Cromwell freshmen.
Wow. Hey, all right.
Yeah.
We all know Portland. Portland was Teddy Ballgame's hometown.
Yeah.
Teddy Williams.
They got some good players from there in the past. You know, my senior, Mikey Rambros, is doing a heck of a job. He's our starting corner. So, you know, from a depth point of view, without those Portland kids, those young kids, I don't have a JV team. And that would really hurt the development of our other freshmen and sophomores.
It seems like the Pequot has really strengthened itself with co-ops, especially the ones on the shoreline. You agree with that?
Yeah, you look at. I was surprised. I didn't even know what was going on when I saw the schedule. It was Morgan.
Yeah,
it was always Old Saybrook, Westbrook, and now you threw Morgan in there, and he's doing a nice job, and he'll get that in the right direction as well. You know, so you like to see that balance, because I remember, you hear people talk, the Pequot is terrible. It's not terrible. No, Sean, you've seen it. It's not terrible. It's
I remember when they added Hyde. Early on.
That was our rival.
And Hyde would just rip through everybody. And
that was our big rival.
And they were like, I know it was right. And then
I'm just laughing at Coach's reaction. He did not expect to hear Hyde on the show today.
Enough of Hyde.
You
saw that? It was just all Hyde.
I didn't think he'd bring this up.
I mean, it was. Listen, it was I want to go play somewhere else of New Haven County, or Greater New Haven. Even all the Hamden kids went there, but they were some massive teams. They were like, it was like, do they even belong in this? But I think they kind of toughened up the Pequot a little bit. And then you guys add some other teams in there, and I think it's a robust. I think the league is great. Personally,
they made us better. I said that the first time I said Hyde makes us try to elevate our game. We had some fantastic games with them.
Yeah, it was great. So I mean, it's been a quite a ride. So it's good to be back, huh? You're excited? We're getting ready to get this thing wrapped up. You got Rocky Hill. That's the other. Speaking of rivalry games, that's your like one. And sometimes they're in, sometimes they're not. And I guess this year they're kind of on the downslope, but I mean, that's become a really good rivalry, the Shunpike.
Shunpike Showdown.
I'm not even worried about Rocky Hill right now.
Yeah, I know.
When the time comes, I will be, because I don't care about, you know what they say, throw the records out.
Right. I like that. That's a rivalry game.
Well,
right now it's Rockville, and then it's to Rocky Hill. This will be my second time with that game. Remember 2002, that was our first varsity game. It was that.
That's what I was going to ask. So that season, I was doing a lot of like research back into, because in like 2002, I was in 7th grade. So I didn't really remember it. So I was like looking back at all the records, and I was trying to calculate a lot of things. And so you guys played 9 JV games that year? And then like with the preparation of this, so like did Rocky Hill play a full varsity schedule that year? And that was their first game. I just thought it was so interesting.
You definitely did your homework with that. We had a full JV schedule, but the way it went with the Pequot, we ended up playing. I felt so bad for those kids. People would cancel on us. We played, I would think, 5 or 6 football games.
Wow.
So just by I would think late September, I told the staff, forget it. We're going to start focusing on Rocky Hill, and we're going to watch them every Friday night. And that's going to be our championship game. That's going to be our state championship game. And our kids did a super job. Nobody quit that year. It was frustrating. They practiced all week, and then we get a call, game is off.
Yeah.
Get a call, game is off. And it got frustrating. But our kids stayed with it, and we just kept reminding, listen, we're going to play our first varsity game. You're going to be involved in something real good here. And we ended up winning that game. We ended up winning. They had a full varsity game every Friday night. I was watching them.
Yeah.
Wow. Would that, like, if anyone ever created a football program or started a football program now, would they do that, or would it just be a full year of JV? Like, I just think that was so cool. I like read the story. I went back in the Middletown Press archives. And it was just like so cool to see because I don't think you would see that nowadays. You would just play a year of JV, and that would we'll see you guys next year kind of thing.
I give our athletic director at the time, Mike Petrozello, a lot of credit for that one. I think the first year he wanted strictly JV, and absolutely, that gave us a chance to get the program up and running. Second year, I started getting antsy, and I was like, okay, we'll be able to compete in this conference. Thinking 5-5, 4-6, first year of varsity would be great. And he was like, no. And then I think he just met me somewhere in the middle and said, listen, if we can get a varsity game, your last game, a varsity game on Thanksgiving, it'll be the best what's for the kids in the program. And, he met me halfway with that, and we got that done. And we played a JV, unfortunately, like I said, 5 or 6 games. But he allowed us to set up that varsity game, in 2002. So
only playing 5 games a year before maybe kept you guys
fresh,
because you went 12-1 the next year.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming, and neither did I. But that was good. That was fun. That seems like so long ago.
Oh my God, yeah. I remember the first time I saw you play was the final in 2003. Against Tinney and Ansonia, and they just ran a rough shot.
Oh my God! I tell you what about that team.
Not to give you any bad memories.
No, they beat us 55-0. But I remember this. I said that this, that's just lit a fire. Like, hey, listen, if we're gonna continue this varsity path, we got to get as good as that team. And that team was special. I mean, that team. I saw that team, and I got real quick, if you got a minute. I remember a great story. We're about to play them, and it snowed or something. We had some extra film.
Yes.
And I asked my offensive coordinator at the time, Paul Morell, and he ended up coaching at New Britain. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching film. I go, this is not a Class S football team. Yeah. But I'm looking, and I wanted to see what he thought to give me some life. And I'll never forget the quote. I go to him, Paul, what do you think? He goes, dude, this is going to be throwing pebbles at a tank. And I go, oh, okay. And then I wanted one more snowstorm, and we would have been co-champs.
That's right. They pushed them. It was like
one more snowstorm. Yeah. I think. But they were good. But I remember getting our butts kicked and going, hey, listen, we can't cry about this. How are we going to elevate our program and stuff? So
how about this now?
And then Randall got revenge.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago. He beat him.
Well, no, I was going to say this. Well, first of all, you had that wild game. Everyone had Ansonia pegged to win it with Tristan Roberts and that whole team in 8. And you blocked. I think you blocked the extra point or something like that.
I think he went for 2.
Did he go for 2 in that game?
He might have.
I wasn't there. It was that crumble.
You know what? We played them we played them after they beat us 55-0 in 03 in the state championship game. We played them in 04 semifinal.
That's right. Okay.
We beat them, and then you had to mention Hyde. Hyde beat us 14-7 in the state championship.
Mention Hyde.
Yeah, they beat us, but then we played them in 08. Ansonia is a great football team. That's Tom is just he's just a fixture there. I mean, he's a great coach. Every year I don't even look. They're going to do their thing, and then I start looking at everybody else.
Well, can you believe it? Like Randall. So Randall, you had one year with I forget who the running back was, great player in 16. But Randall, they've only scored 7 points on him in two playoff games.
I'll be calling them if we play. I'll be calling them.
Oh my God, can you believe that? They beat them 46-7 in the championship season. And then last year, shut them out, 28-0. You don't think Tom Brockett's got all that, though, the plaster all over his locker room?
Oh, yeah. And so that's not the same Ansonia team, I'll tell you that. I just watch what I see on the news. I'm going, oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. They look pretty good, don't they, Coach?
What's that?
They look pretty good today.
Yeah, they look very good. And, not even – right now, Rockville 8-0. That's what I'm worried
about. All right, Coach, listen, this has been real fun. I had a blast. Go down a memory lane. I can talk old school football all the time, man. That was when I first started. And I remember because they pushed back your championship game, and I remember everyone talking about this team came out of nowhere. And I was able to go to Ken Strong Stadium to watch that. But look at you guys now. And it's just been a great ride. And welcome back. It's nice to have you back. And I don't think I covered you the first time around, really. So now it's been great. So this is gonna be fun. Got Rockville. What's that? Is that Rockville, isn't it? Yeah. So that's
at Rockville
there. So good luck, and obviously playoffs coming up. You got Rockville after that. Should be a great last few weeks with this group, huh?
A lot of fun.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks for
Really
joining us.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and go get them.